Evolver is the third studio album by R&B soul singer John Legend, released by Good Music and Columbia Records on October 28, 2008 in the United States and on October 20 in the United Kingdom. It features guest appearances by Kanye West, Brandy, Estelle and Andre 3000, among others. The album debuted at number 4 on the US Billboard 200 to sales of 132,823 copies. It also entered the UK Albums Chart at number 21, and reached number 26 on the National Japanese Albums Chart, as well as number 5 on the Japanese Foreign Chart. The album has received positive reviews from music critics. Since the album's release, it has sold 617,528 copies in the US and has been certified gold by the RIAA. In May 2009, the song This Time was featured prominently in the closing scenes of the third season finale of the CW Bet comedy drama television series The Game. Background: speaking in July 2008 to noted UK R&B writer Pete Lewis of the award-winning Blues and Soul, Legend explained what he wanted to achieve musically with Evolver. "I wanted it to be diverse. So I basically just wanted to make some great records that together covered the whole gamut of the various forms of expression I feel comfortable doing. So we have a couple of club tracks. We have a reggae song. We have a few really strong ballads. And kind of everything in between. Plus we have a political anthem at the end as well. So, while there are some elements that people have heard in previous albums of mine, I also think there are some things people haven't heard from me before. And I think that's what makes the album interesting. In particular, I feel I've made different arrangement and production choices this time. While I don't think my writing style itself has changed significantly, sonically the main difference is that we chose to use more electronic instruments on this record." Reception: the album so far has a score of 67 out of 100 from Metacritic based on generally favorable reviews. The Independent gave it 4 stars out of 5 and said that the album was not perfect. But it would be churlish not to praise its ability and ambition. Yahoo! Music UK gave it 8 stars out of 10 and said that once again remains Legend's best record. But Evolver, in all its modernity and timeliness, may well become his biggest. Now likewise gave it 4 stars out of 5 and stated that the album, like everything else Legend has done, showcases his skill as an artist, but it lacks the passion that would help him reach the Stevie Wonder status he strives for. The AV Club gave the album a B and said, "Smooth through a fault, Evolver solidifies Legend's standing in the pantheon of good soul singers, but greatness continues to elude him." Billboard gave it a positive review and said that Legend's voice remains beyond reproach, but for a guy who's an oasis of style and soul in a sea of synthetic, robo-cool R&B, at times it seems like he's playing catch-up. The New York Times likewise gave it a positive review and stated, "With reverberations and a choral backdrop straight out of Seal, ET unregistered trademark S is only overreach. Mr. Legend is more charming one-on-one." The Village Voice also gave it a favorable review and stated, "As the dying industry is still breathing in the toxins of useless filler, patrons like John Legend are fully indulging their creativity in all its flawed glory, just like the soul giants of yesteryear." All Hip Hop likewise gave it a positive review and stated, "Even if Evolver is less cohesive due to the integration of the pop sound to the alternative styles, Legend played around with him once again. It still is light years ahead of any artist mimicking his suave persona." The Boston Globe similarly gave it a positive review and stated that, as the title suggests, Legend is a work in progress, and this stage in his evolution is worth hearing. Hartford Courant likewise gave it a positive review and said that the album delivers what it promises, a singer, songwriter and musician pushing himself to grow. This is a good first step. Other reviews are average, mixed or negative. Mojo gave the album a score of 3 stars out of 5 and called it a good album, but there's a pull between the commercial and the more left field. Q also gave it 3 stars out of 5 and said that the album was more in the same gold standard, singer-songwriterly vein. Spin gave it a score of 6 out of 10 and said, though he's unlikely to encounter much trouble selling these romantic conceits to his female-heavy fan base, some of the scenarios on John Legend's third studio album could be fresher. The Guardian likewise gave it 3 stars out of 5 and said, as on Legend's previous 2 efforts, his balladry can tend towards the beige, and oatmeal slow jams such as Cross the Line prove unmemorable. But the innate warmth of Legend's voice mostly carries his material. Slant magazine also gave it 3 stars out of 5 and said, for a change, Legend doesn't constantly sound as though he's trying to impress the VH1 cognoscenti with his impeccable musicality. Sure, that's to say it's occasionally dumb, but oh so approachable. Hot Press gave it the same score of 3 out of 5 and said, Legend manages to capture the optimistic spirit of Barack Obama in addition to his mastery of soul, pop and hip-hop. Blender, however, gave the album 2 stars out of 5 and called it the least accomplished of Legend's albums, but nonetheless a refreshing change of sorts, for all its faults, at least as far as missteps are concerned. Track listing, chart positions, release history, references. External links, official site, Evolver at Metacritic.